Welcome back to the most monotonous podcast you've ever heard about football. We were meant to have a guest on this week, but he can't keep time, so he's not here. But again, we are here with myself, Dale, and Jimmy. Everyone say hello.
Hello there.
Today, we're going to focus on the England internationals from the previous week, not the coming week, the previous week. And we talk about how let down we were with our performance. Dale, if you'd like to kick us off, I'm delighted to talk to you today.
Yes, thank you, Alex, for that delightful introduction.
Can I just point something out? Like, we'll carry on, but why is he saying like the bloke from the bleep test? Like, I feel like I need to stand in a sports hall and get ready to sprint up and down for like an hour and a half. That was amazing. That was brilliant.
Well, I don't know what bleep test you have been listening to.
I'm say the bleep test is horrible.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%.
Anyway,
awful, man.
carry on.
Yes.
Carry on, Dale. You start us off this week.
Right. Yeah. So, Alex, thanks for the delightful introduction.
You're
So we start off with England versus San Marino, and being
We
a San
do
Marino is the worst team in international history. The result was only 5-0. For me, I wanted more. It was disappointing. Players were greedy, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just going to read out the scorers right now, and then we'll break it all down. So James Ward-Prowse scored. Calvert-Lewin got 2. Sterling got 1. And Ollie Watkins got 1. So what do you guys have a take on the game?
Overall, like, I don't think you can expect much more from me. Like, yeah, we all wanted more goals, but what are you meant to do when a team puts 11 players behind the ball and the keeper was on the form of his life?
Yeah, to be fair, I can say the keeper had a sensational game. It was just their defence was poor.
To be fair, that keeper for San Marino puts in performances on a regular basis. It's not just a one-off.
I feel sorry for him to having literally a piss poor team.
The Dyer in front of him.
Yeah,
I
literally.
mean, he could actually turn professional and not work 2 jobs like the entire team.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure he's professional.
He
There's a
might
few
be.
players that play like Italian football and stuff.
Yeah,
so I'm thinking
it's
that's like
like-
my professional.
Yeah, one of their
So,
wingers
Serie C.
is their best player. One of their
Mm.
wingers is their best player.
I mean, it's really difficult one because Lingard definitely should have scored. He had more
I think he had 5 shots on target.
ample opportunities. Like there's one miss that was just horrendous. Like it weren't even close. And I'm like, bro, come on. It was literally I'm pretty sure it was like a sweat. He like squared the ball and
Yeah, Chilwell.
the
hit
goal
across
was
goal.
gaping and he just
Yeah.
missed the goal completely. And you're like,
The thing is that Lingard wasn't the only player. Bellingham, he had a chance which he went for the wrong technique.
it was his debut though, wasn't it? I mean,
It wasn't his debut.
It wasn't his debut.
Bro.
His debut.
when did he make his debut?
I mentioned this last time, bro.
I've had a man.
He made his
I've had a
debut
man.
last year.
I've had a man. I've had a
Yeah, it wasn't his debut.
We'll gloss over that. Okay, he's a young kid. There we go. There's another excuse. He's a young kid on
You
the
know,
international stage.
Bellingham actually impressed me in that game. He was quite dominant when he got the ball. He was playing 1-2s. He was strong. He better man. He went on a longer run. He got a free kick for us. And it was quality. To be fair, it was just a shame that he couldn't top it off for a goal in the game. So it doesn't say he missed that chance. Was it John Stones? He had a great chance as well, I think. In the 12th minute, and he skied it over as well. Literally, I forgot who made the pass now. Literally chipped over the defence. It was 1-on-1 with the keeper, and he just skied it. He hit it first time. Disappointing again. And it's just like things like that. And obviously, like Jim mentions, the Lingard miss. You should be finishing them. Like you will get punished if that's a game against Germany, a game against Spain, a game against Portugal.
Against stronger opposition. I know it's like, we won, like Alex said, we won 5-0, we did well, they stuck 11 men behind the ball and that, but with the opportunities we had, we should have scored more given. and the opportunities we missed, like against stronger opposition, those opportunities have to be taken.
Like Calvert-Lewin, he missed so many opportunities. He got a goal in the first half, but he literally had about 4 attempts.
Take
He
it for
literally should have buried
example.
them.
Take it for example, Germany. Timo Werner puts that chance away. The game's completely different,
Yeah, 100%.
and they don't lose to I can't say it.
Macedonia.
Macedonia. I heard somebody call it Macedonia. I was going to say
Yeah, it's
Macedonia.
wrong.
Yeah,
North
Macedonia. But that's what I mean. Werner puts that chance away, which he completely misses with his left foot. It changes the complexity of the game, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
At the end of the day, we've come up against San Marino, and what you have to think about is they put 11 men behind the ball, and even though we missed the opportunities, we still had the opportunities.
oh yeah,
And if you're gonna miss those opportunities, you're gonna like if there's any team in our group that we miss them against, it's San Marino, because I know we're gonna win.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to miss
I
them, you
don't
want to
mind
miss
the
them there.
opportunities being missed because it's still an inexperienced side. You know, Calvert-Lewin's still new to international football. Jesse Lingard, he's come back to international football after 2-3 years away, or whatever it is. Like, if you're going to miss the opportunities, miss them in this game, which is
I mean,
fair
yeah,
enough to me.
you got the likes of Ward Prowse coming in, Mount, Calvin Phillips, like all them.
They're all inexperienced.
Well, here's the thing. Actually, you mentioned Calvin Phillips,
Statman.
and obviously, in the previous debate we had, if you listen to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, me and Alex was saying Calvin Phillips couldn't sit in between the two defenders. Is not his role. In the entire game of San Marino, especially in the first half, he sat in between the two defenders and did a defensive role where we were saying Eric Dyer should be instead of Calvin Phillips.
Yeah, but he's doing that role against San Marino.
I know,
Yeah.
but I thought he did the role quite well, actually.
In that game, he shouldn't have been doing that job. It was Calvin Phillips really disappointed me in this international break. I was expecting so much more of him. I really was.
Yeah,
personally,
It disappointed me massively.
You know what though?
Next to Rice, it doesn't work. Rice is very
Yeah,
Yeah, Rice was quality. Yeah.
really impressed me, and I think he's one of the starters. But if you want to play with Rice, you can't put Phillips there because it just didn't work. I didn't rate it.
I think not just Calvin Phillips. I think most of them disappointed me this international break. I don't know what it was. I weren't feeling like, oh, we should turn them every team over like 10-0. I weren't expecting that, but you know when you watch your Liverpools and your Man Cities and stuff like that, and when they're in control of the ball, but it's not boring to watch. It's exciting to watch but it's like that kind of style of play where it's like they hold the ball, they make it zip around the field, but you know you want to watch it because at any point that could just wipe a team off. You know what I mean? Whereas like watching England trying to do it, I was very bored. You know what I mean? I was like, okay. But see, like, I just don't see us penetrating in the way that I think we're expecting us to when we play that way. If you kind of get what I'm trying to say, like, I'm pretty sure I heard there was an argument between Harry Kane and a couple of the midfielders when they were playing, because they were like, "What are you doing?" Because he literally dropped all the way basically to where Declan Rice was playing to receive the ball to then pass it on, and it weren't even like.
Wasn't an argument. It was the point that it wasn't an argument between Harry Kane and players. It was the point Roy Keane was making. It wasn't anything to do with the players. It's just what Roy Keane said.
Oh, I know about what Roy Keane said, but like apparently, like it sparked a conversation on the pitch. Let's say not the Roy Keane thing, but it was on the pitch as well. They were like, "Oh,
I haven't heard anywhere that it was on the pitch.
Oh, I did.
I haven't.
I haven't even heard what Roy Keane said. I haven't even looked into it, so I don't know. I'm at this one now.
Right. So basically, during the match, Harry Kane dropped. You know how he's starting to drop into midfield to pick the ball up. And moves
because Mourinho's taught it into him.
Yeah. So basically, it happened a few times. Well, a few times, Jesus, that's underplaying it. But it kept happening, and Roy Keane said if that was me and Rooney or Van Nistelrooy kept dropping into the midfield, I'd tell him to go and do one because it's my job, and that's true. Like I think Harry Kane needs to distinguish himself from Spurs' style of play and England's way of playing, because they're two different styles. Like, England don't need him dropping into midfield. We need him up top. We need him as a striker. We don't need him in midfield picking up the ball, because we don't have Son or Mora or Lamela who are cutting in that way. We have a Sterling which stays wide. Sancho's naturally staying wide, or Grealish might cut in, but he doesn't cut in behind the defenders. Grealish wants it to feet and he makes a move. So for me, it just doesn't work. Him keep dropping into midfield. He needs to.
I think that's why I like Calvert-Lewin and Watkins, because
They stay up front.
Yeah.
They stay there.
Speaking of Watkins as well, to go on, I did feel sorry for him when he came on as a sub, because no one was just giving him the ball. There was literally no feeding, everyone just stopped trying to get the ball across the box. And when he actually got the ball and he thought, I'm going to take the shot on, it was a great little touch, great little finish, and I'm happy for him to get a debut goal. 4 years ago, he was playing for Exeter. Yeah. And now he's playing for England and he's in the Premier League and mid-table with Aston Villa. He's having a blinder, so fair play to him. I still say.
Sorry.
Sorry.
So I was just going to say, speaking of strikers that scored that were mentioned last week, Che Adams scored as well for Scotland.
Absolute banger it was. Jesus Christ. I hope he comes back to England.
It was just the irony. Literally, I was like, I'd play Che Adams. Oh, he's going to Scotland. He then goes and scores. I'm like, cheers.
Absolute banger as well. Just finished. I can't knock it from him, to be honest.
I mean, I'm glad Ollie Watkins got his goal, and it was thoroughly deserved. And he come on and put himself about it and everything. And I think him, and to be fair, him and Patrick Bamford could be good for the future of England.
Well, the thing is, obviously, Watkins is younger than Bamford.
Yeah.
Bamford's got a good few years left in him, 100%. And obviously,
performing at the top level, if he carries on, they both can do it. And
yeah. And obviously, I did see the interview with Bamford when he wasn't picked, and but the thing is, Watkins, Southgate's apparently has worked with Bamford before with the England squad, I believe. I'm not sure.
Under 21s or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so he's seen Bamford, but Southgate has worked with also Watkins at a different club as well.
Could I ask this question, actually? I was going to bring this up earlier, later on anyway, but being as we've literally just dabbed on it. Did any of you see the result and the news about the under-21s?
No.
Okay, so...
Yeah,
so Alex knows then. So, if you don't know, the under-21s are now out of their Euros because they couldn't score as many. Oh, yeah, they couldn't score as many goals as needed, and they couldn't keep a clean sheet. So, during the game, events happened and that, and obviously it planned out, and we lost to an absolute screamer as well. Fair play to the goal that they scored to knock us out. If you're going to go out to a goal, definitely that one. It was a rocky. But I've seen some people say, future generations are doomed, and the under-21s aren't as good as everybody was hyping them up and all this rubbish, right? And I put it down to the manager, because we have a manager who's been sacked from 3 lower league clubs.
Who's the manager?
I can't remember, but it's League One.
Eddie Boothroyd.
Yeah, it's
Never
League
even
One.
heard of him.
Yeah,
He was the Watford manager when they were in the Premier League in 07.
yeah. But he since then he's had jobs in I think, League One, and he's been released by all of them.
Well, Southgate was the under-21 manager, wasn't he, for England? And obviously he won the...
He won everything.
He won the tournament, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's why he got the England job.
He did really well. But, with this group of players England have at under-21 level, I just don't understand why the manager is who he is to take the under-21s forward.
It's because he's... The only reason he's manager at the moment, in my opinion, is because of the setup with England, in that the way it was Southgate was in the 21 manager and Boothroyd was the under 19 manager, and they just moved them up so they could keep working with the same group of players.
But the thing is,
because Andy Boothroyd did do well with the under-19s, but from what Jim said, like when you look on Twitter, everyone agrees that it's just he isn't right to manage the under-21s.
but if you think about it, some of the players who could play for the under-21s, like Bellingham, your Sancho, and your Royce, because they're all 21 and under, they could actually play for them and perform for them. And he ain't got that quality because they're in the first team because they're that good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
do.
but the under-21 quality is still far
Bro,
too high to be.
I was going to say you still got your Curtis Joneses. I think Hudson-Odoi's in that squad, and all those kind of all those kind of players are still in that squad. And if you're not getting the best out of them, then you've got to come into question because it's not their fault. They're still under 21. I know they're still young and they're still kids, but they're playing other kids. And you're the tactician behind how they play. Like England squad for me, we have some of the best talent in the world. Let's be honest. Like we have a serious collection of players. Like for a golden generation, we've now had 2 generations that have bumped into each other, and they are really good as a mix. And if we do not progress very far in this World Cup coming up, Euros, sorry. I should have corrected myself. Euros, sorry. If we do not go the distance, Southgate has to go. Like
if anyone doesn't go far, they're gonna go. But I always feel like any criticism at Southgate's unwarranted at the moment because he hasn't done anything to prove that he's done a bad job.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that, but like with the crop of players we've got, it's a lot of pressure for him, and I understand the England job is a toxic job. I wouldn't take it. I just wouldn't. Like, look at Roy Hodgson, for God's sake. Like, look what he did for us. He then went to England, flopped, then went to Crystal Palace, and he's killing it. So it's you know what I mean. The England job is just a toxic place altogether.
Here's my view on that. So obviously, you say the Euros. If this was last year, 2020, and the Euros have already happened, and let's say we went out and we didn't even qualify, or we just went out the first round after that, I'd say probably I'd agree with you saying get rid of Southgate. But because the World Cup is next year, I think it'd be unwise to bring in a new manager who he hasn't got the time to work with the players and implement him, and it could actually taint our chances for the World Cup. So I'd judge him after the World Cup. That's what I would do.
I'm pretty sure Southgate's already said he's stepping down after the World Cup anyway, because that's the end of the cycle.
Well, World Cup, Euros, World Cup.
Yeah, so I think he's doing the Euros. I was meant to be this year, and I think he said after the next World Cup he's stepping down. I'm not entirely sure, but I've heard it somewhere. Don't know if it's right or not though.
Which would be nice.
Yeah, but it is a good question. Who would you put in charge instead?
I ain't got a Scooby-Doo at the minute. Maybe I'll have a clear review later on, but at the minute, obviously, I only can see one man for the job, and that's it. It does frustrate me because, like, I feel like because the quality of players in certain games, we should be killing them off.
Here's a question: would you have an Englishman take over the English squad still?
I couldn't care less.
Okay, so you couldn't care. What about you, Dale? Would you have an Englishman still take over the English squad, or is it just open to any nationality?
For me personally, I feel like an Englishman would be better. I don't know why. I just feel like it'd be more suited and it'd be nice. But
it obviously makes a lot more sense having an Englishman in charge for communication.
Yeah.
If there's a fantastic manager available, say like.
You mean? So I was gonna.
So like, if you have like Allegri, for example.
Thank you. So I was literally gonna point this out. If we need a manager, and there's one available right now, it is Allegri. I mean.
But also the thing is, languages. Most players now speak multiple languages. I swear, like Eric Dyer can speak like 5 different languages anyway.
So he knows Brazilian, he knows Portuguese and Spanish and whatnot.
I'm sure he knows German as well.
Yeah, German and Dutch. He knows them as well. Like he's very fluent, and a lot of other players will know multiple languages as well. And the
not only that, like the universal language. Like if you most places will know English. So Allegri, if he came in, he'd know English. But that's a question for when it happens, I suppose.
I think obviously it will be disappointing if we let's say we don't even get past the qualifiers in the Euros, or we go at the first or second round. But I don't think getting rid of him so close to when World Cup's in 2022, and I don't think it's going to be delayed with how things are moving with COVID and the way football is. It'd be the worst choice
At the minute,
for the team, because they've got to get used to new play style.
Cohesion and all
Yeah,
that.
exactly. And it'll be really hard for him, being as like he doesn't have enough time with him anyway because they've got their own like leagues to go to and playing. It'd be shambles. Maybe if after the World Cup, and then that's it. They've got 2 years until the Euros. They've got plenty of time. Then that's a long time. But a year, I don't think it'd be enough.
I'd literally do it like straight after the World Cup. Then, like, World Cup's finished.
100%.
Adios.
Either he's going to leave or he gets the sack. Either one.
Yeah, literally. Whatever stage we leave at.
Well, what happens
the
if
day
he?
after.
But let's say, for example, if he wins the Euros and he doesn't do well in the World Cup, would you keep him still for the next Euros?
No.
But no, because I think that's the end of his time.
Yeah, they won't renew it.
Just in general, even if he won the World Cup, I still feel like he'd step down because he can't do much more.
The point I want to point out is they did that in Germany with Joachim Low or whatever his name is.
Joachim Löw.
Yeah, he literally did really well. The 2014 World Cup, obviously, then they did really well in the Euros, and then the World Cup spun around, and they got slapped. They didn't even make it out the group stage. They got clapped up by Mexico. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure they got battered by Costa Rica or something like that. Like,
well, he's been Germany manager since 2006.
Exactly. So, like, his tenure literally just burnt out. And he got the golden generation.
I don't know. He's officially said he's stepping down after either the Euros or the World Cup. I can't remember which one, but he has said he's leaving after one of them.
I wonder if he'll take Leroy Sané this time.
Who knows?
Should have took him last time. Anyway, let's move on to the next game.
Yeah, let's sweep on.
Albania 0, England 2. For me, that's a poor result. I felt like it should have been more dominating again, especially if we were playing more of the big guns this game.
If you watch the game again, like it wasn't anything special. It wasn't a disappointment. It was job
comfortable.
Done. Yeah, we weren't under any danger. They had one shot in the entire game.
I feel like
2 shots. They had 2 shots.
See, watching it.
What's the difference?
See, watching it like
the thing though, we only had 9 shots. 9 shots, 4 on target.
But come to the attention of, I think we just knew we were gonna win. So as long as we got 1 or 2, I think the whole game plan was just be comfortable. 90 minutes, just hold on to the ball. Don't burn yourself out. We're playing Poland next.
It's all about qualifying. If you can get the win, you get the win.
Yeah.
There's no point in risking anything more.
Yeah, I think that one was a game of go out there.
Which
relax.
goes to, like, I would say qualify means squat all at the moment, because we're always going to qualify because teams play our trash. And it comes to exactly the point of this. Like, we just played Albania. We beat them 2-0. Didn't even look like we were going to threaten any more than 2-0. And we didn't even look like we were going to concede a goal.
Some of the players didn't even look like they were asked. It was like when you turn up at Sunday League in the first 10 minutes when everybody like has a mad run, and then after 30 minutes they're all like, yeah.
Exactly. Like they struggled to get in behind Albania. Like at all completely. It was just a bit like the Albania one was a bit slow because we couldn't get in behind. We couldn't get crosses in. And then when we did get in behind, obviously we got a couple of goals. But yeah, job, like there was nothing more to say. We did a job. 1-2-0, got the points.
We'll move on then to the England-Poland game, which also I think was another disappointing result. I know Poland were the better team at the 3, but I'll say my reason why is obviously Sterling dived. That was not a penalty. If that was VAR involved, in my opinion, that would not have been given, and we would have drew that game 1-1. And also a mistake at the back, which is sloppy for a person who's playing with a team like Man City, who's potentially going to win the Premier League this year, and he should have done way better. And it was the thing is, if that was, like I said, if that was a bigger team, you will be punished and lose that game, and that's why things like this should be rubbed out and cleaned out. Like Southgate has worked with some of these players for a long time now, and we're just seeing the same shit over and over, and it's just frustrating.
So we spoke about it beforehand about the penalty. I do think it was a penalty because he has been clipped in the back of his leg. Like I think it's a penalty no matter what. Like
No, there's no contact until after
there
it's
is.
gone down.
Yeah, but
I'll-
it might
I'll-
already be going down. But it might already be going down, but there's still contact.
See,
No,
I
So
think,
it's a penalty.
I watched
The way
it
it is, it's still a penalty.
yeah, I
For
was
me, when I
gonna
looked at
say,
it, there was no
I'll,
contact.
I'll play
There is
devil's
still
advocate.
contact.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll play devil's. The thing for me is, yeah, he has gone down super easy and gone down like way before any contact has happened. But the problem is on his way down, there is contact. So in the laws of the game, in the laws of the game, it technically is a penalty. But if it was us lot, we'd sit there and be like, get up. Like,
About say, like,
what you doing?
if normally I'd sit there and say like, yeah, get up, but it is a penalty because he has gone down, and in the way of going down, that's when like someone's kicked on like the calf on the back of on his back leg.
I mean,
So there is contact there.
I mean, I know you said like if VAR was there, they'd give the pen, but again, I can't be confident that'd happen. They wouldn't give the pen. Sorry, I can't be confident that'd happen because I mean, look at the Lacazette one. My man swung at the ball, missed the ball. Davinson Sanchez dived to block the shot, and he's just accidentally collided with Lacazette, and it's a pen. And I'm like we said, that for us, that isn't a pen because he hasn't like cleaned him out purposely. He's just dived to block the shot, but Lacazette has completely missed the ball. And under VAR, they went hard pen, and I'm like,
in regards to the Poland game. I'm more disappointed with the result purely because our second half was poor. Our first half performance was awesome. Our first half was like the best we've played in the qualifiers. Like when we're talking about how in Albania we couldn't get in behind the defence, we did it constantly against Poland, and we should have been 3-0 up at half time, like no questions asked, because we were that good.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you
But the
look back
second half wasn't good enough at all.
but that's what I'm saying. If you look back to the San Marino game, should have finished your chances, should have finished your dinner, should have scored more. That's the problem we're having. And you could see from the San Marino game that there's a lot of creases that needs to be ironed out.
I'm not saying there isn't.
I think.
But again, we go back to the Albania thing. Yeah, we struggled to get the win, but we still got the win.
It was more of against Poland. It was capitulation. I just think they all. I think with England, once we score, they all relax, and that's it. Then, like I feel like England won't.
Proof's in the pudding with the semi-final when we scored against Croatia.
I think like we score one and then we just capitulate. We just we've scored, cool, we've won, cool. And I just think it's that it's always been with England though, isn't it? Like we can score one and they can score 3. Even with world class players, bro, we've always been like it, and I don't know why.
Because of the quality of the players that we got, who can score goals, who can create goals. We've got literally so many players are playing in teams that are literally in the top of the league, and obviously we've got like some players abroad like Bellingham and Sancho. Yeah. But obviously Sancho wasn't included in this set of games, but obviously when he does get included, he'll give us that extra ability of attack and hopefully assists and shit like that. But I want a manager, let's say after the World Cup, I want a manager like Jurgen Klopp and like Pep Guardiola, who doesn't want to see out a 1-0, 2-0, who wants to literally win 5-6-0 every single game and absolutely dominate every single game with possession and attacking and break down teams.
I think it's
the time.
More along the lines of just excitement. I think that's our issue. Like, I don't feel like we're exciting. There's something about it.
For me, there is excitement. Like we do some one-touch passing football. Like Kane had a nice little one-touch passing play.
Oh yeah, I think,
and it happened in San Marino. We do some one-touch football. We're good at that, but obviously
it's not often enough.
That's what I mean.
It doesn't create an end result.
That's what I mean. So like Alex pointed out, it's not often enough. Whereas like you do watch your Man Cities and Liverpools, and the phrase I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from, but the phrase I want to use is they make it zip across the surface. Like it's not so much like you have the ball, then I'll have the. It's more of It's more of a when De Bruyne or Gundogan or somebody picks up that ball in midfield, it gets yeeted like that all across the pitch straight away. There's no like yeah they'll do their 5-10 yard passes to each other or 5-10 yard passes to the centre backs, but they'll give that pass off, find a bit of space, and once they've found that space, they will turn around and make that ball zip across the field to somebody else. That then just impacts the entire team that move forward. And I think obviously Sterling plays with that caliber and that kind of stuff, so he knows when as soon as De Bruyne or Gundogan or Fernandinho or somebody like that or Bernardo Silva receives that ball in midfield, he knows that that's going to be zipped to somebody and he's going to be there. So, but then when I watch England, we're in control, but it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like it's being zipped about. It feels very...
Feels like Brighton.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you spot on there. Oh, yeah. It feels like... Because, like, we'll pick up the ball in midfield, then we'll fling it over to Trent, who, like, stands there. He picks up the ball and, like, then you've got, like, whoever's on the right wing will, like, stand inside of him. He'll then flick it to them. He'll make the run, but they'll turn the wrong way and give it back to midfield, and then it goes to the other side, and then it just keeps doing that, and it's just too much. And I'm like, when that happens, you know Trent's going to run in behind, so the winger needs to, you know.
For me, like I watch it, and it's like how United play. It's just like you got a quick counter attack of players, but you just don't. You can't break a team down. When Alex says when they've got 11 men, you can't break a team down, and it's only when you get the first goal. If they score the first goal, you pretty much screwed.
It's hard for us. But again, it's so you've got the players like Sterling and Sancho, and now we've got like Ward-Prowse who does do the whole zip thing. Because when I watch him for Southampton, he's De Bruyne-esque. He zips the ball across the field like nothing. He's class, man. Ward-Prowse, I love him.
Yeah, Luke Shaw does the same as well.
Yeah, and Luke Shaw's come into his own, and he bursts forward. Like if Guardiola, if you're watching and you need a flying fullback, just take a 10-minute cab drive across the road and nick that one from the red shirts.
That's £150 million, please.
But like when Ward-Prowse he's doing it, and obviously the Sterling and that, but we can't be having Kane drop into midfield because it slows everything down. Because that's the way Spurs play. It slows everything
we need a
down.
quick counter.
Or just Kane to stay up top, because he's got the ability to control the ball, spin pass, like flick it inside. You see it happens, but it doesn't happen often enough.
Or you could do his dive for a free kick, which he does a lot of time.
Or just back up into a player while send mid-air and almost break the neck, but we'll gloss over that. You're dangerous.
Well, I don't know if... Because I can't remember the lineups. Did James play right back for against Albania or Poland at all? No. But okay, then. So in the San Marino game, he did impress me, to be fair. And as I was saying before, I said, you wouldn't take James, you know what I mean? And the assist he made for whose goal was it? Dominic Calvert-Lewin's. It was a peng assist. It was brilliant. And I was like, if he's playing balls like that and he's running up the field like that and beating man like that, I'd rather have him at right back.
That's the thing. Like when I was saying, like Reece James is so good at doing everything. But like, you know how like Trent is world class at delivering ball. Not this season, I will say, but usually Trent is world class at crossing and whipping the ball in, and Wan-Bissaka is world class at defending. And he's obviously improving his forward game, but his thing is he can defend. He's a right back that can stop a winger. Reece James isn't world class at both, but he's very good at both. Like very good. He's a really good balance. And that's why I'd have a massive headache, because I want to take all three. I just want to take all three.
I do have a question for you guys. So obviously you might know, UEFA are considering making it from a 23 to a 25-man team. And if that, do you reckon it should happen?
No.
Why?
I don't think it should happen.
I think it should happen. That's my opinion. But you said tell me why.
I don't know. It just in the sense that like it just makes it easier for the bigger teams in these tournaments.
Yeah, but we are one of those bigger teams.
Yeah, I know, but in general, it's not fair on the likes of like Scotland, for example. Like they take 2 more players, but who they're going to take? Are they going to change the team? We can easily bring 2 more players and change the team. It's not fair on the bigger teams, like your France especially. You have a massive squad, like your Germanys, your Spains, us, and like you got the likes of Czech Republic, who've got 2 players off the top of your head that you can name that are good enough, which is Souček and Čufal. And yeah, I just don't think it'd be fair.
What about you, Jim?
I'm divided. I am divided on it because I think I think it benefits players that need that World Cup experience. Because if it's 25, you really don't have
Euros.
No,
Euros.
that. But I'm saying like in a general kind of sense. Like if it was implemented into like the World Cup, it'd be really nice to bring 2 more young players along. I know it's UEFA and I know it's Euros, but if FIFA implemented the same thing, kind of like it'd be really nice for the young players to come along, get the atmosphere, get the feel, even maybe sit on the bench, like you know what I mean.
Okay, but are you telling me that we're going to do that?
Are we going to do that?
That's the point I'm making. If we were to take, if we had 2 more spots available, we wouldn't take 2 young people. We'd take 2 more people we think could change the game.
That's what I mean. So this is where I'm divided on it, because then as much as the opportunity's there, because then let's say you could take Bamford and you could take, I don't know, another young, like you could take Hudson-Odoi, then you could, or Curtis Jones, you could pull them up into the senior squad instead of the under-21s. So like you could take them, but that's the question. Would you take them? Would you risk taking 2 youngsters that might impact games if you bring them on, but then again, would you take that risk, or would you bring 2 certain players that you know would perform no matter what, even like in the senior team? So like you could then take, say you wanted Walker, let's say, because I didn't take Walker in mine, but I know he's a very versatile player at the back. He can play centre back and right back, and I wanted him. I could then take him. So then there's 24, and then you could take another player, you know what I mean? You could take another really good versatile player. Like you wouldn't have to drop a midfielder. Then you could bring Henderson as well. So you still bring in 2 experienced players. So like the 25's filled, but they're filled with the experienced players. But you could still take young players. So I'm very divided on it.
Right. So this is obviously my opinion. So obviously he's taken, what is it, a 26-man squad
Qualifiers.
for the qualifiers. And obviously, the players obviously that are missing, obviously Wan-Bissaka, Trent, Grealish, Henderson, Maddison, no Sancho, and also no Bamford. So those are all huge players that are missing from this current squad. And obviously, we've already spoke about how we take certain players out and switch certain players in. But obviously, with that 25, we could bring maybe an extra. Let's say if he left out. He takes Trent and James, but he left out Wan-Bissaka, and he goes, "Oh, I can actually bring Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka could be a defensive right back for when I need it for that game." Obviously, I know what Alex is saying. Disadvantage for.
That's what I was going to say. Was if it happens, I'm all for it because it does benefit us. It completely does. But I just think
as a neutral,
as a neutral, it's not fair to the smaller teams who, like, especially with the Euros, when more small teams can get to this tournament. After like the Nations League playoffs and stuff, like a lot of teams have got to this tournament for the first time.
It's just like when they were trying to introduce, what was it, 5 subs in a game and 9 something like 12 substitutions on the bench. Now, if you're Man City, perfect, awesome. You can put as many players as you want on the bench. 5 players to come on, 5 absolutely world-class gems to come on. Who are the Albion going to bring on? Who are Sheffield United going to bring on? Brighton, Crystal Palace, 5 subs to use. Who are we going to bring on to change the game? Like, you know what I mean?
That's the point I'm making.
But it's exactly the same point. But
obviously, I don't think increase the sub. I don't know if the sub counts are going to be 3 or 5 at Euros. I don't know. I haven't.
So they usually are. I think it's. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think it is 3 subs you can make, but you can have an entire bench of all the players there. That's what it is at the moment. You can have all 23 players in the squad, but you can only make a certain number of subs. I don't know how
Okay.
many subs it is.
I think they should definitely include the concussion.
sub. I think
Concussion
they
of
will,
the
I
yeah.
agree. Yeah,
I think
I
that
think
will
that's
be.
I think that's
cool.
only a matter of time until that's worldwide anyway.
And then obviously you get the one at extra time.
Yeah, at extra time you're allowed one extra sub as well.
Yeah,
Which
I
also-
agree with that as well.
How FIFA haven't implemented that into a game, I don't know. But well,
We know it's corrupt. We don't have
Yeah.
to talk about it.
But I was back to it. I think they should do it, and I think I'm all for it because obviously it'll give. He's still going to be able to leave players out, and players are going to be upset because
Yeah, 100%.
I know,
Like,
I know like six players.
we struggled with it. If we had 26-man squad, we'd struggle to bring all the best players.
Yeah,
we
literally.
were sat there going, I don't know.
Yeah.
But obviously, he's able to bring an extra 2 players, which could cause just slightly less of a headache. Still got a headache because, like Jim says, this is like a golden generation. We've got so many young players with so much talent,
Yeah.
and
Like, for example, like literally look at left back and right back. Like this season, you've got to sit there and literally go, bro, I ain't got enough coins to flip here because like
the thing is now, right back, there's like 4 players that could play their left back. We've only got 2.
two or three because like you got Cresswell, you got Chilwell, and then you got Shaw, and like obviously at the minute Shaw, if he's not the first name on the team sheet, I will be very, very, very surprised.
That's a fun thing to say. Apparently, Gareth Southgate has come out and said he already has. He's like starting 11 for the first game of the Euros. Like he had that in mind before this World Cup qualifiers. So that's really interesting to me that he's already made his mind up.
It's a bit
Because
You have the players like Watkins who've come into this qualifying and scored in his debut. Like, does he have a chance to get in that squad now? Like,
I mean,
it makes you think.
there's 10 games left, and what if he scores 10 in 10? Like,
Yeah,
what
exactly.
if Watkins comes in and scores 10 in 10, and Kane can't score another goal, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin only gets like 6 in 10?
Exactly. It just really interested me to see that. Like,
See, I personally, like, you have your ideal, like, so I'd say you have 6.
you have your spine. You have
Yeah,
your set spine.
You have your 6 that you know, no matter what, they're playing. So you know who's in goal, you know who's your back 4, and you know who's 2 of your midfield. The rest, you got 10 games. You got 10 games to show me that you want to go to the Euros. Sorry, I keep saying World Cup, but you want to go to the Euros. You have 10 games to absolutely smash it out. And if Watkins, for all we know, could score 15 in 10, he could go on the maddest run of his life.
Yeah.
Or Bamford could score another 11 goals in 10. Like, he could... And then what do? Do you sit there and go, well, I've got Kane sat, who's essentially captain of England, even though he shouldn't be, but, like, essentially captain of England, like, playing...
Who would you give captain, being as you say that?
Henderson.
Yeah, Hendo.
No.
Yeah, you wouldn't say that.
Yeah, of
but
course you wouldn't say Hendo, mate.
Just because he's captain of Liverpool, he doesn't deserve it. Like, what has he really done for England to deserve captain?
More than what Gerrard's done.
No,
He's also won more than Gerrard.
We'll quickly move on.
well,
We don't want to get into this debate right now. That's for another episode.
you say
No. We'll move on. We're not going to get into this debate.
Dale,
we don't have the time.
Dale,
We don't have
before
time,
you
we
say
don't have
anything, Dale, before you say anything, I rate Gerrard higher than Henderson. Don't worry. It's just funny because he's won more than Gerrard.
Let's move on.
and went
No,
further.
Let's move on.
he hasn't won more in Gerrard. He's just won specific trophies more than Gerrard, e.g. Premier League.
Let's just move on.
Yeah, I understand that, but again,
He hasn't won more trophies than Gerrard.
I think Gerrard only won 1 Champions League as well.
Yeah, I think he did as well.
Overall, Gerrard has more trophies, but we'll move on. Because Gerrard's won like FA Cup,
Yeah, he's
Europa
won it,
League,
yeah.
the League Cup. He's won all sorts. Let's just move on because that's a
It was
debate that
just- it was just funny
we're
'cause
not going to have
I
time
know
for.
I know how much he hates it, but no, it'd have to be
But
Hendo.
I would put Henderson as captain purely because like he's if you look at the England squad at the moment, he's the only one I see will have that brute
Captain,
I
yeah.
will take a player next to me and I'll drag him through the wall.
Yeah.
That's the only player I can say. I know Maguire's Man United captain, but I don't see that from him yet. He couldn't do if he changes it and surprises me by all means.
Like,
I don't see it in him yet.
Let's be honest.
I don't see it from Kane either. Kane is one that will lead by example in his performance, but he won't drag players with him.
Well, he's the captain for Spurs as well.
See,
I know. I don't see it.
would
Actually,
you-
Lloris is captain for Spurs.
yeah. Would you
It's rotating.
would you have Maguire as captain of Man U, or would you have Fernandes? The way Fernandes shouts at players, gets everybody amped up, the way he leads on the pitch.
I know exactly what you're saying there because Fernandes does the same as Henderson. I have seen Henderson
Yeah, that's
when
what
he
I mean.
captained for Liverpool.
That's what we're getting.
And obviously for me, even though Fernandes has been there a short while, less than obviously Maguire,
You'd make
I would
it,
put
yeah.
Fernandes 100%.
Same.
If I was manager, I'd be like,
And that's what I
captain.
want. If we have like a bad 45 minutes and we're like 1-0 down at half time or 2-0 down at half.
My Discord
Like
is frozen.
speaking from the heart and getting everybody else rolled up. I see that from Henderson.
you've been good this stuff, but you can
Yeah.
have. You can
I'd rather have Jordan. I'd rather have Jordan Henderson. I'd rather have Jordan Henderson in his Geordie accent come in and go, "I play for Sunderland." Yeah, I'll just take him. I'd rather not.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like Gareth Southgate ain't gonna walk into the dressing room and launch a bottle at somebody, is he really? Whereas I can
No.
definitely see Jordan Henderson going in, taking his boot off, and flinging it at somebody's head. Because
Yeah. And that's
Like-
what I want. As a captain, I want someone with that like
Grit.
scrap, that grit. Yeah.
Yeah, I
just,
do get what you're saying, but I
just-
just don't want to see him as captain.
just 2 seconds.
No, we understand. We understand that as well.
Sorry about what just happened. My Discord had a sneeze. I don't know what happened there. It was fine for ages, and then everything just froze. Like not my screen, just my Discord completely froze. I couldn't hear anything, but it caught up. So, okay, sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened then. That was really strange.
That's fine.
I was like, bro, you was literally completely fine on mine. Nothing happened.
Yeah, it's fine on mine as well.
Yeah, it just
Didn't even notice.
Just my Discord fully just stopped, just froze, and then caught up. But
To
yeah,
be fair, being as we've had like a pause anyways, just off topic, I haven't got really much to say unless you just want to cover how far we're going to get on Euros and then probably end it there because we've been going for a good 45 minutes now anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
We've had a good chat.
I mean,
I have one point which I was going to mention earlier, but I never said it.
What is it?
That like when we were talking about big teams, and that like if we don't put chances away, they'll like score against us and whatnot. In the 3 games we played, we only faced 1 shot on target, winning. 270 minutes of football, and we only conceded 1 shot on target, and it was a goal.
Let's not have some shots on target. That's
Which is what you were saying earlier, Dal, that against bigger teams, we need to put the chances away.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you saying that's literally changed my whole view of them. That's pathetic.
Yep. And like
1 shot on target.
1 shot on target in all 3 games, and it went in. And like, I love Pope to death. I think he's a fantastic goalkeeper. But
He should have saved. I did look at it. He should have saved it. It was.
I don't. No. It shouldn't have saved it because of the power behind it. But what I was going to say was I like him as a keeper, but I've always said he's not England's number 1 because of Pickford, and the international 3 games he just played shows because Pickford can play at the back, Pope cannot. He's shaky on the ball. He's completely shaky on the ball.
He's a goalkeeper, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. He's an out old-fashioned keeper where you give him the ball and he just fucking hoofs it.
Yeah.
But what about Henderson? Dean Henderson.
Dean Henderson? I haven't seen enough of him. I haven't seen him play for England properly, and I haven't seen him play for Man United a lot. I know he's good with his arms, and he can pick a throw, and he can do that correctly. I haven't seen him with his feet enough. That's just because I haven't seen it. That's just because I haven't seen enough of him.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna sit here and say he's not good enough. I just haven't seen enough.
Case in point, that goal against Man City where he
Yeah,
yeets it at Luke Shaw. What a throw that is!
Yeah,
But,
but
like, the way
look at when
Southgate
he's been
plays, and
shaky against Milan. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and the way like Southgate plays when he wants people to be good with their feet, especially from the keeper, as we've seen in the last 3 games. Pickford's always there. I've said that for the last 2 years.
He's always been good with his
At the moment, Pickford's.
Well, what about Sam Johnson? We can see that Sam Johnson can yeet a ball up forwards.
Exactly, but I don't think he's good with his feet because he hasn't played in the team that'll do that.
He's good with his feet. He's just when he gets a bit pressured, like he'll make a mistake. like kicking wise, and then he'll get inside of his own head, and then the pressure of
But that's the thing.
else,
That's exactly the
Yeah.
thing that happened with Pope. Like you can't have that. Whereas Pickford, that won't happen because he
Yeah.
knows he's good at his feet.
like he'll like misplace one long kick. Like he obviously distributes to our fullbacks. That's the way we play. We'll distribute it just on the halfway line to the fullbacks so they can have a running jump at it and then like flick it on or something like that. Or like we'll go short to Bartley or a Jay, and he's all right. He'll just get inside of his own head if he messes one pass up, and then it'll take him like 10 minutes to just recoup his kicking. Because he'll stand there and take a couple more seconds than usual to work out where he's going to put it. Whereas usually when it's from the kickoff or something like that, like he'll just naturally just pick a pass, and that's when he gets. He needs a bit more time and experience. Like we ain't going to have him. We're relegated, so all our players are going to be stripped. But when it comes to Johnston, I'll be very surprised if a good team doesn't pick him up. The likes of like, I don't know, the likes of say West Ham or someone along those lines don't pick him up, and then he'll get that good playing time with playing out from the back. He'll get that sorted.
It's just a matter of seeing. I don't see Johnson going to the Euros if Pickford's fit anyway.
Yeah,
so that
he's not there.
takes out of the occasion.
Well, it's a quick thing. Obviously, you're talking about playing from at the back. We saw Pickford. He's injured a player this season, and he also did a tackle which could have severely injured someone, but he was fortunate. But both of them should have been penalties, in
And
my
red cards.
opinion, and red cards. So is that a danger to have at the back?
Oh, it's a complete danger. Like Pickford's like Roy Keane made the point about it when he was talking. I can't remember which game it was. Probably the Albania game or something. And he said that Pickford is a very erratic goalkeeper, and he is.
Yeah.
Completely is. Like you can see, like he's always. Whenever you're watching play, he always like his head's wearing like really tightly and all this lot.
Yeah.
Whereas Pope is a very calm goalkeeper in that sense, where like one-on-one, he isn't going to do a rash decision. He's going to do everything by the book, by the basic, do everything right, all that lot.
And
But that's
make the save.
that's where the decision comes in, because Pickford can also make the saves. Because especially recently, he's been phenomenal in the Premier League before his injury, like he has.
Yeah.
Like, and I've always said Pickford to me was always a shot stopper first, and then he's become amazing with his feet. And like the beauty of the England keepers at the moment is it's like they're all still really young,
And there's so many of them.
and there's not
the
that
thing
many,
is-
but they're all young.
No, like
And they've got plenty of time and experience ahead.
I fully would though. Like I fully would say there's loads of them because
There's five, in my opinion.
There's
five keepers
There's
that stand out.
Pickford, Henderson, Pope, Johnston, and to be honest,
Ramsdale.
I don't rate him yet purely because I haven't seen enough of him. Like I saw him I've seen Ramsdale play 2 full Premier League seasons and he's going to get relegated with both teams. And I'm not saying that's anything against him, but he hasn't had the opportunity to show himself that good yet. And in fact, he played in the under-21 championship and they've been knocked out.
to be fair, the goal he conceded,
I ain't gonna sit about shitting about that goal, but they still had 2 games beforehand that he couldn't keep a clean sheet in.
oh yeah, I know 100%, and I think
I have no doubt that if he
saw
gets
him-
the opportunity in a better team, he'll be perfectly fine.
I saw
Okay.
I saw
So,
him.
He's far too inconsistent to be in the running for
So obviously,
New England spot.
obviously, my soft spot for Ramsdale comes down to Football Manager because obviously he's a quality goalkeeper from Football Manager, so that's why I got a soft spot.
I know, but that's completely different than real life.
Yeah, I
We know that.
I know that's
Like, I thought manager, like anything can happen.
100%.
as we've seen.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
it's just the way. It's just the way I see
It's
things.
just the way
When
it
the-
is.
If you ever have like a question about keepers, I'll talk about it all fucking day.
Oh yeah, 100%.
If you got a question about midfielders, I will shag them all day.
And if you got any questions about defenders, I don't mind, and strikers, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, like when it comes to the next competition, if Pickford's fit, I don't know how long his injury is going to be. Yes, he's erratic, but I think like that will go out of his game. I think his temperament will get there. I think that's the only part of his game he needs to fix on. his
Ancelotti
temperament.
will give him a fat backhand soon.
Exactly. Like, can you imagine like doing something stupid and like having to go into the dressing room and face Carlo Ancelotti afterwards? I would be shit scared. I'd like without
With
saying
the-
horrible about it. I'd be scared to get the mafia in on me.
With
He
the
sounds
bloke
like
who
he's like Ancelotti when he talks. Sounds like a mafia boss.
Yeah, but you know what? imagine getting argued with a bloke that looks like he's having a constant stroke. His one eyebrow is up on the top of his head and the other side of his face is down.
You see the thing where like Everton scored like a last minute winner and he's just sitting there in his coffee going, "Yep."
Literally.
Who has that balls,
Yeah,
man?
but the thing is, though, I did see that he won a Champions League final, so winning 5-4 in extra time against Spurs is nothing.
It's the experience behind it, isn't it?
He's such a cool man. Like Everton, yeah, I commend you literally on how you.
I read an article that like Walsall draw 0-0 again. I read an article that Everton have been after Ancelotti for years.
Yeah,
and I've been brooding up to it. Like the managers they've had have just been like to get to a style of play that Ancelotti would be like, yeah, all right.
They're like, fam.
I don't remember where it was, but like
literally,
always. As soon as Ancelotti became available, that's when whoever was manager last. I can't remember who it was, Marco Silva or something like that.
Yeah,
I genuinely can't remember. As soon as Ancelotti became available, they were like, wait for a couple of bad results. They've already had Ancelotti at that point in the pocket saying like, when he has a couple of bad results, we'll get you in. And then when a couple of bad results came, they were like, right, off you pop. And then obviously the next day, they were like, Ancelotti, look,
They were like, Roberto Martinez, yeah, look, good style of football. Then Ronald Koeman come in and went, look, good football. Then Marco Silva went in and they went, look, see, we're doing it. And then they went, Ancelotti.
And they were waiting. They had Duncan Ferguson in charge for a couple of games, but they already had like Ancelotti 100%. Like signed the contract that like before they sacked
the thing is, what's weird is Koeman now is Barcelona manager, and I don't know how he must have the best agent in the history of agents. Bro, and
I swear, his
job at Southampton, he was fantastic at Southampton.
Yeah, he was.
So you can't knock him for that.
He was
Southampton, bro. This is Barcelona.
But he got the top six still, and he's still a Barcelona legend because he played for him for years.
I will say
that's why Barcelona pick their managers. They don't pick it based on TV. They go, yo, the fans like you. We'll get you in.
Literally, him, Ronald Koeman, and Choupo-Moting have the same agent. I swear to God, how they are still in job. I have no. Bro, Choupo-Moting, Bayern Munich.
I was going to bring that up a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about Mbappe and how good he was. And they're like, hey, he's really good. And I was like, yeah, but they made Choupo-Moting look good up from the PSG. So you can't say shit to me.
Yeah.
This Donny had a 6 start to the Premier League when he was with Stoke and then flopped the entire season. Just like Bojan, just like Shaqiri. In fact, no, that's harsh on Shaqiri. He was the one bright spark in that Stoke team. Ben Arfa, what's his face? Afellay, who was ex-Barcelona. Like, that Stoke team. Yeah.
Flop.
That Stoke team should never have gone down.
Oh, but Stoke didn't have those players. Stoke had the likes of Bojan, Afellay.
That's what I mean, Afellay. And Choupo-Moting, bro. Choupo-Moting went from Stoke to Bayern Munich, PSG.
Yeah, but I swear Stoke had Nzonzi as well.
Yeah. Stefan Nzonzi and Shaqiri were the only two bright sparks in that Stoke team that definitely shouldn't have gone down.
They had Jack Butland.
Oh,
and Jack Butland should have left years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how he's still there.
He's at Crystal Palace now.
Oh, yeah, they bought him. Yes.
Smart.
They sit on the bench.
Yeah. Because Geitter's their number one. But like Jack Butland should have been England number one years ago.
The thing is, though, they got Wayne Hennessy as well.
Yeah, Wayne Hennessy's trash.
I think he's left.
Yeah.
No, Wayne Hennessy's a sick keeper. Don't even start, man.
No, he's trash now. Like, I know he was a sick keeper, but he's...
No. Wayne Hennessy is still a good keeper.
Right.
Plus
he's one of my favourite keeper. He's so good.
Okay, I got one final question for you guys, and then we'll wrap this up. Where do you think England... Okay, we'll split it into two. Where would you like them to finish, and where would they finish in the Euros?
Go on then, Al. You could go first.
Well, it's still a question. We all want them to win.
Okay, so you want them to win, yeah?
Everyone wants to win. Like it's just the thing. I think, given our previous tournament performance, I think anything but a semi-final is a failure.
Okay,
but I will also say that the quality of teams above us are still very apparent. So I think semi-finals probably reasonable finish for us. I don't see us getting any further, and anything less is a failure.
Okay. What about you,
Unless
Joel?
if we get to the quarters and we're up against the likes of like France and Germany or something like that, then I think it's acceptable. Like,
Yeah,
so,
but even still,
Yeah,
I know
like,
that,
even-
like when you can, like think about the last World Cup, we did have a
easy
easy
run.
run.
yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
even Croatia, we should have beaten, and we all know that now. But we had what Colombia, Sweden, Croatia. That should have been a World Cup final for us. Like,
100%.
no,
No
shut up.
questions asked.
But-
Yeah.
we should have got bombed by
Of
France.
because of our previous performances, we saw semi-final and went, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
you've set the
now-
bar now. You've got to
now,
get there.
now they've set the bar, they have to get to semi-final again. Otherwise, there's going to be an inquest.
So what do you say, then, Jim? You agree with Hal or?
Yeah, like obviously I want them to win, but like I said, semi-finals is the goal. It's where I think which as Al said. But again, I'll give them a bit of leeway if in the quarterfinal. Sorry, we play against like they literally. If we get paired up with France, we've lost. Like, that's a be all and end all of it. I mean, Belgium, we can give them a good run for their money. We've smashed Spain before. Germany, we haven't beaten in how many years. So like,
Yeah, but Germany aren't exactly doing great. Are they?
yeah, they're not doing great. So if it's a Germany-England quarterfinal, I'm still expecting to go
Well,
through.
we did beat Germany before. Vardy scored and we won the game.
Mm,
What
yeah,
game
we
was
played
that?
them in friendly. We played them in friendlies. It was just a friendly. We
Yeah.
beat them, and that was when they were world champions. At the time.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
But like against Germany, I'm still expecting us to go through to semis. But if we
Same.
get matched up,
I agree. If we were to
Yeah.
come against Germany, I'd expect to win. But like the France and Spain, that'd be a close one. But
That'd be-
France, yeah, fuck
France, Belgium, like their golden generation is now in
But,
their
that-
twilight. They're in the prime now.
Belgium, I'd agree. We've especially we lost to Belgium twice in the World Cup.
Yeah.
I don't know how you managed to lose to the same team twice in the
Twice.
World Cup, but we did.
In the
Yeah,
group,
so-
then in
Really
the third
annoying.
place playoff.
Yeah.
Sick one. But
We should have bet them in the group and in the third place playoff.
In the group, I understand it because
Yeah.
we were both through, so we played a weakened team. And in the third place playoff, again, we played a weakened team because it was the third place playoff.
yeah,
But I agree that we should have beaten them if we'd have played a proper team.
but like yeah, I think circumstances develop in the quarters. If we get matched up with like Serbia or something like that in the quarters, then yeah, you have to put semi-finals as definite. But
Well, for me-
again,
The way the Euros work now is it's not just the quarterfinals, you have round of 16s now as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
round of 16, so it's even longer.
Because 24 teams go, and then you have third place teams from a group
Just-
go through. So even if we have a piss poor group, we can still go through to the round.
Just flip the question back at you, Dale, because I know you're gonna say that where you want them, where you expect. In saying that, given the teams in the Euros, who is your final four? Who would be the semi-finals?
God knows, it all depends on what the draw is. You know what I mean?
Realistically,
I'm trying to look it up and work out in my head, but it's too much to
Yeah.
work out without a piece of
But,
paper
like,
to figure it out.
realistically, who would you say out of all the countries and how they're performing and everything like that? Who would you say right now is your semi-finalists? The four clubs, the four countries that will just be going at it for that final.
The four
Well-
best teams. in the
Well,
country.
obviously, to the England thing first, I'll answer that. Obviously, I want us to win it as well. We need to win it. We should have won the World Cup, in my opinion, or
We're
got
long
close to
overdue.
winning it. But yeah, semi-final as well is another positive result. It's better than going out the quarters. 2 semi-finals in 2 tournaments. That's much better
It's
progress.
Man, it's Man United format, isn't it?
Hey, no, it's not. You can't be a
quarters
semi-final
now.
merchant if you get knocked out first.
But,
Don't make it.
But yeah, so two semi-finals. That'll please me. But yeah, I want to win it, of course. But obviously, the 4 would it's got to be England,
Yeah.
France.
Yeah.
I could probably see Belgium in there,
Yeah.
and maybe I'm going to say, I know Germany lost, but I'm going to say Germany.
I'd have said the same, but I'd have said Italy instead of Germany because Italy are
Alex,
a mad.
Alex, no way! No.
Because Italy are doing really well. They've won like their last 35 matches or something stupid like that.
Big brain energy, right here. Big brain energy. Yeah, I was literally going to say Italy. I was going to say Belgium, England, France, and Italy. I reckon because
I'm looking forward to doing this podcast during the Euros.
Oh,
100%.
I mean, I'm watching.
Going down
I'm doing
games and stuff.
I'm doing what I'm doing every single international tournament, and I'm watching football from when I wake up till I go to bed. I'm going to flick from BBC to ITV and never miss a match. Even if there's 2 games on at the same time, I'm having them on 2 different TVs in front of me. It's happening.
Mate, we'll all be allowed to go out as well, so we can go get a drink like a beer garden or something.
Go get sloshed in a beer garden whilst watching Albania versus Slovenia.
Watch me work.
Yeah, watch you work.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen,
That brings an end to this week's monotonous podcast of football. We hope you enjoyed listening to the sultry voices of myself, Dale, and Jimmy. We'll be recording again soon when the Premier League returns, and we'll have so much more content to bring to you. I say so much more. It's going to be the same content every week. Our voices. We thank you all. We'll speak to you soon. Goodbye.
peace.